What's up, Sitters? This is Tyler Roth along with Joey Edge
Sitters, what's good?
and Chris Martinez,
What's happening?
and we are front porch sitting. Hey, boys, how we doing?
Man, we're doing good. We're doing great.
Joey,
actually.
you sound terrible. Don't lie.
Okay. Well,
You're doing good though, right?
You're doing
yeah,
good.
I feel good. I really do feel good. Just a little nasally sinus stuff. You know, pollen, a lot of pollen in the air.
Lot of pollen.
A lot of pollen.
I'm
in the
struggling
air.
myself a little bit too.
Yeah, it really is like. I woke up the other morning, my throat felt like it was like every time I would swallow, it felt like it was bad. Took a couple of allergy pills the last couple of days, feel a little bit better, so we're getting there. We're working on it. Yep.
Pushing it.
Flu game.
Flu game,
Pushing through it.
pushing
Chris,
through
how
it,
you
baby.
doing?
I mean, I'm doing very well. Doing very well. Busy as usual. Wouldn't want it any other way.
Maxwell every week with the muted is killing me.
Yeah, he's that guy. It's not muted. Also, Tyler,
No, it's not.
how are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm tired too. Chris,
Tell this story.
Chris walked in, and usually I get here about 30 minutes before the boys so I can set up. Get the
I mean, I
camera
live
set
here.
up.
You don't necessarily get here 30 minutes before me.
He did today.
Was I today?
He did. He definitely did today.
Get on with your story. It's Joey
Yeah,
so
so I
rudely
usually get
interrupted.
here, set up the microphone, set up the cameras, do some tests, make sure we're all ready to rock and roll. But tonight I was just real tired, and so when Chris came in, the lights were off in the
Yes.
studio, and I may or may not have been reclined up on Joey's couch, taking a little nap.
Well, I hit the light and he kind of hit me with a squinty eye, you know, and he just woke up. And I'm like, oh no. Are we podcasting tonight? Are we
Hey,
good?
here we are. Here we are.
You know who
We
makes
made
it possible, though?
Who?
JW Weaponry.
Oh
That's right.
man, the
That's
premier
right.
gun store in the South. And let me tell you, they are always loaded. They're not taking a nap.
No.
They're not taking a nap on the job
Ever.
like me. They're
You weren't on
always
the
loaded.
job at the time, sir. You were not on the job at the
I don't
time.
know. I feel like I'm clocked in when I get over here. I'm not going to say sorry, though.
No, you shouldn't say sorry.
Never.
Obviously, you needed that.
I needed that. And you know what else I need?
What do
I
you
need to go get another gun.
Yes, you do. I got just a place for you. It's JW Weaponry.
Hey, I ain't going to lie to you. I may or may not have logged into TurboTax to see when my my tax refund was coming in. Thank you, children.
That's responsible.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
that's responsible.
That's
Thank you,
right.
children.
Hey, man, that's the only reason I get a tax refund. You know this game.
I 100% do.
You know this game. What is it, like $1,800 a child right now?
Oh, I don't know.
Take one of your kids and go get a gun with that $1,800.
Jesus. There it is.
Joe.
You heard it first.
Joey, give him the number to JW Weapon.
Yeah, the number is 386-243-8587 is the number to JW Weaponry. 386-243-8587.
Man, do we want to do some quick shout outs right now?
Oh, good rebound. Yeah, let's quick shout out real quick.
All
Not
right.
real quick, sorry. Yeah, quick shout out, sorry.
Quick shout outs?
I'm watching the Gator basketball team right now. It's 85-85 with 22 seconds to go.
I'll
Good,
go.
please,
Chris can go.
please,
So Joey
please.
can watch this. I'll go first. Shout out my mom and dad. I texted them at the last second on Sunday night. I was like, hey, can you watch the kids tomorrow? Me and Michelle want to do something. They were able to do that, and so I was real thankful for that. I don't like doing that, the
Yeah.
last minute thing with your parents.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
tough.
it's
Don't like
It's tough.
taking advantage of the parents, but they did it. They didn't complain about it. They were over there. We even stayed out a little bit later than we should have, but we had a good time, so I was thankful for that.
Ooh, y'all stayed out late?
Love it.
Jeez Louise.
No, you're right. Love that. I love that.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
we tried to go to get some food, and we couldn't find parking anywhere in Gainesville.
Oh, y'all went to Gainesville. Where'd y'all go?
We went to the softball game that got scheduled randomly.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It was not fun. It was a terrible experience.
Okay, well, I won't ask any more questions. I'm sorry about that.
No. I'll tell you very quickly. So, I haven't gone to many softball games, so I bought the tickets and didn't have very good seats.
Okay.
Weren't that great.
Okay.
And but there wasn't a lot of people there because the game got scheduled Sunday, just randomly at the last second. And they scheduled a game, and so there was a ton of seats available right behind home plate. So I'm like, why don't we just go move and sit? Get some good seats. I went up, talked to the guy. I was like, hey brother, these are all the seats that are available. The same cost. You think I can go down there and sit there? He was like, yeah man, no big deal. Which I was like, that never happens.
Right.
So we go, I sit down, I tell Michelle, hey, we're good. Come on over. And right as she's about to walk down, I realize the people sitting behind me are screamers.
Ooh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Gators! You can do it! I know you can! I'm not kidding, that kind of stuff. Every single pitch, screeching in my ear. So I went 0-for-2 picking seats. We lost the game 3-0.
Did y'all stay there?
Yes.
Who'd they play?
Oklahoma State. It was like a
How do you
tough
just
matchup.
randomly schedule an Oklahoma State
Okay, so-
game on a Sunday for a Monday night?
So the head coaches are like two really good friends. They're like best friends.
Okay.
Oklahoma State happened to be down south. All their games got rained out. all Florida's games got rained out. So I'm thinking that instead of chartering out of Clearwater, they drove up to Gainesville, played Gainesville that night, and then flew home.
Makes sense. I'll buy that.
And it was a top 10 matchup, so it was like should have been a pretty good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's that. Chris, your shout out. That took way too long.
Yo, so
Never
my
takes
wife,
too long.
my wife, she got she's like solid as always. But we had
As always.
we had a weightlifting meet today, so I didn't get home until like 7:30, and she kept the kids.
Got
Got a
what today?
weightlifting meet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fire.
So she kept the children by herself. God willing, God bless her heart. Now my dad did keep me like on every Wednesday until about 5:30 or so. But anyways, Kelsey held it down. I'm good. Thankful.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Joseph?
Shout out Tyler Rolfe.
He's Louise.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I love it.
Shout out Tyler for always being the guy on the spot.
All right. I appreciate that. Thank you, Joseph.
People think that we're mad at each other still. I think.
No,
We're good.
We should have let that roll another 5 minutes last week.
Oh, dude, we should
It
have.
would have got fired up.
It was a little fired up. That's
Let's
what we
get
do.
to it. Let's
That's
get
what we
to
do.
it. Let's get
All
to
right,
the pot.
let's start college football playoff. Some interesting developments. Finally starting to get a feel for what it's going to look like. Chris, do you want to talk to me about what they decided to do and how it's going to work out?
Yeah, for sure. So most may know, some of you may not. So we're going to go ahead and like outline the layout or the landscape of what it will look like moving forward. And obviously it's subject to change. But before we do any of that, make sure that you have liked it, you've subscribed, you got notifications on, tell a friend. It's important. It's important. Also, we want to go ahead and like get your questions in here. Might be a bit of a shorter show tonight. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll get to them. If you're a podcaster only, that's okay. You can text us and we'll try to get to them quick as we can.
This would be the time to text Tyson Ellis for us to talk about college baseball. He's
Yeah.
like been begging for like 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we do. We need to do that. We need to find a way. But basically, it looks like it's been passed. The college football playoff or is going to expand. Excuse me, to 12. So from 4 to 12, which kind of everyone thought that, but they weren't sure how it was going to go. Like, so it's either going to be like 5 and 7 or 6 and 6. And so 5 automatic bids or 6 automatic bids. So they end up being voted on 5 and 7, which makes sense. So 5 automatic bids. So 4 from the Power 4, because now the Big 12 or the Pac-12 is no more, doesn't exist anymore. It's been consolidated. So you're going to have SEC, Big 10, ACC, and Big 12 will get automatic bids, and then a G5. So the American, Sun Belt, or
Wherever.
any other Group of 5 conference, the best team of that league will get an automatic bid, and then 7 at-large bids, which will be obviously like the next 7 best teams that aren't AQs.
Right.
Now there was talk that they were going to do 6, and there was going to be 2 G5 automatic qualifiers, which in my opinion just doesn't make sense.
None.
To make it automatic.
Yeah.
Like if they get in
If
an
you earn it,
at-large,
right.
If they get in an at-large, of course.
Yeah.
But like they don't need 2
No,
automatic.
no. So let me ask you a question, and I don't know if you know this or not. So there's 5. Is that going to be ordered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So that G5, is it automatically going to be in the top 5?
It's my understanding that 1 through 4 will get buys.
Okay.
1 through 4 will get buys. And then the really cool part that I absolutely I love. I think they messed a lot of stuff up, but I don't think they messed this part up. The first round games will be at college campuses.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Love
5,
that.
6, 7, 8 will have home games.
Yep.
Versus the next. Now the next like the second round and so on will be your traditional like bowl games. But I think it's really neat that. And I know the college campuses really, really want that.
Yeah.
You know, that experience, that extra
That money.
revenue. Exactly. It's huge. So you definitely want to get an automatic bid and be a top 4 seed and get a bye. But if you are like the next 4, it's not always the worst. You're going to generate probably $2 or $3 million worth of revenue in a home playoff game.
Right.
We'll take it.
So I think that's interesting. Like
I love that it gives teams incentive too, man. That's the biggest thing for me for the 12.
I agree.
It gives those teams incentive to keep playing hard, like late into the year, because the bowl games just weren't doing it anymore.
It sucks. It sucks, right? The bowl season had almost turned into a joke. I mean, it did turn into a joke, and I think it'll be even more of a joke if you're not in that 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
You know, I think it will. Joey, what do you think about the playoff and the format that was voted upon?
Yeah, I like it. I'm with you. I think it's the right call. I think everything's right, which is very rare for them. But I agree with the 5 and the 7. I think that's where it should be. And then, like you said, I think the four teams getting the home playoff games is like it's the way it should be.
Yeah, so like you have to think about it too. Like if you project those matchups to not be as good of a matchup in theory as like the top 4 seeds, like if it was this year, you're not going to watch Bama, Michigan, Texas, or Washington play in the first weekend.
Right.
Okay, those are the 4 best teams this year in college football, so they say. But or like, flip a Florida State or Bama or like whatever.
It is kind of strange though. Now that I'm thinking about it, like 5, 6, 7, 8 are going to get games at home.
Yeah.
They're going to get that extra revenue, but 1, 2, 3, 4 aren't.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 will not. They'll
They
split
get a
the
bye,
next.
but it's just kind of.
That's why I think it's kind of. I think it kind of balances out a little bit. I mean,
Like, would
you
rather
want the
be-
bye. I want the bye personally.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
I want to be in the second round. I have to win one less game to win a national championship, which is the end goal.
True.
But I think I really like the idea of those next games have like the tradition, the atmosphere of like a home game.
Yes.
That's a big deal. Can you imagine that environment?
Right.
We've
Well,
never,
well,
huge environment.
We've never seen that.
I don't think we've ever seen that. At least
No.
not in my recollection. That's
No.
a huge environment
huge
for a
game.
playoff game to be at home. You think about like playoff baseball, and playoff hockey and
Like
playoff
super regionals?
basketball.
Anything.
Yeah, or super
Yeah.
regionals.
Yeah.
Like it's nuts
Yeah.
because the home team can like really stamp it.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Home games.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. Let me ask you this though: would it be smarter for them to split up the revenue made in those 4 games between all the schools?
Your commissioner. I have like mixed feelings. So my answer is no.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think like Matt Mahoney just said it in there. I don't feel bad for 1 through 4 with a bye. They will still get a share of $1 billion, which is absolutely right. So I think they'll get theirs. Like you got to think they're going to play. If you win, you play 2 games and potentially a third now. So I will say this: Sankey, the commissioner for the SEC, is lobbying for. He doesn't like that the SEC will get only 1 automatic qualifier.
Right.
He doesn't like that. His job is to obviously push the gas for his conference. But this is the part that gets a little bit gross for like football fans that are not in the SEC or the Big Ten.
Right.
Because the Big Ten is like they're in lockstep, the SEC and Big Ten. Like, I think they're going to consolidate everything, and I think everyone will be in those conferences. But that's not where we are right now.
No, I agree.
They want 4 automatic qualifiers. And so
Yeah.
the Big Ten wants 4. So they want the.
Well, honestly, that's probably what's going to end up
It's going
happening.
to end up happening.
But let's let it happen
But it's not.
organically.
Yeah, but it's not going to be automatic.
You can't say 8 of the 12 are going to come from
Yes.
2 conferences. Before a game has ever been played, I just don't think that makes any sense. That's absolutely absurd, and they're asking for more revenue share as well. Like we want more money.
Right.
Like I get that that's you have to do that, but like you destroy the game. Like some
More
people
than
will
it's already
say,
destroyed.
some people will say, Sankey is the one pushing the gas on that. Of in the Big Ten, the consolidating power and literally liquidating the Pac-12 basically by the Big Ten itself. So I don't think that will happen, but I think that's his like ploy to say I don't want any AQs. I want to go just 12 at-large bids, because then the SEC will get in there 4 or 5 or however many, But whatever, here nor there. We'll see. I think it'll take care of itself.
I do too.
I think how they have it is fine. I think if you say like the 7 at large this year, like if we just look, can we pull up the top 12 from this year and see what the at large like would have been? Let's pick our 7 at large, because the 4 AQs, Florida State's in, so Bama is automatically now an at large. So like for example, it would have been, thank you Tyler. Michigan is in. Michigan is in. As the Big Ten or the Big Ten, Washington would be Pac-12. Texas gets in for the Big 12, and then like
Georgia's the SEC.
Georgia's the SEC. No, it's conference champion. So it would have been Bama won the
Bama
conference.
was the
So
SEC.
Bama's in. So then now you're at large, and then I guess so this is where it would be like a little bit weird. And so instead of a G5, it's let's say the ACC, Florida State's in, and then now you have 7 teams that are at large. So of those 7, Georgia's 1, Oregon, Missouri, Ole Miss, Ohio State, LSU, they already have their 5. There's their 6. They have 6 in the 12-team playoff format.
Yeah.
They'd have 6 already.
Yeah.
Like with only one AQ. Like
And
if you,
really not that many good teams, if we're being honest.
no, yeah, I mean, no, there doesn't need to be that many more. And that's LSU, a very, very awful LSU at the end of the year.
Yes.
Right?
Defensively, they were atrocious.
Awful. Yeah. They had the Heisman Trophy winner. But my point is, I don't think you need to say there needs to be 4 automatic qualifiers and then who knows, they make it the other 4 like I don't know. It's just crazy.
Matt Mahoney said, "Do we really realize the number is $1 billion?" I did not. I did not realize that.
Well, his original comment was, "Don't feel." You read that already.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad for 1 through 4 with a bye. They still get a share of $1 billion. And he said, "Sidebar: Do we realize the number is really $1 billion?"
It's crazy.
That's going to be split between 12 teams or
That's above
he
my
says
pay grade.
between 4.
yeah.
He says 1 through 4. Shane Pope says it gets a little diluted with 12. Thinks it's too many. I could get behind that pretty quickly. I
And-
think they're just doing that because of what Chris just alluded to. The SEC is going to want 4 in. The Big Ten's going to want 4 in. I mean, I don't think it.
I
will
think
hurt
that people had been
games.
clamoring for 12 for long enough that it didn't matter what was happening. I think that was what was gonna happen, just because the loud, I don't know about majority, but the louder people wanted 12, and so that's what they were gonna do.
I'm researching y'all continue to sidebar. If I'm looking down, there's a report that came out today of before 12 ever gets put in place that people want 14.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
14 seems too many.
That's so wild to me.
14
But it
seems
doesn't
like too
surprise
many.
me at all, because like we talked about this a couple of years back with the NCAA tournament. The NCAA tournament used to be a 16-team tournament. Actually, I think it used to be an 8-team tournament, and then it went to 16, and then it went 32, and then it went to whatever, and now it's at 68.
Yeah.
Like, is it necessary? Probably not. Do I still love it? Absolutely. But there's also 335 Division One. Division One basketball teams, and there's 130 Division One football teams.
Yeah,
So
it's
people make that argument. Oh well, they have 68 of them, and do they really have a chance to win? No, well, no, but they give an automatic qualifier to every conference.
Yeah.
Because there's 31 of them or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more basketball teams in Division One basketball, so
There is.
that's why the discrepancy's there.
So I found it. So Pete Thamel said he's typically like spot on.
Reputable, yeah.
Yeah, he said the idea of a 14-team playoff, college football playoff, was discussed by the College Football Playoff Committee Management Committee at meetings in the Dallas area today. If that happened, it would begin in 2026. Nothing is imminent, but it is significant that the idea has already been discussed.
That is insane to me.
Asinine.
We don't even know what this is going to look like, and we're like, yep, scrap it. Let's do something different.
Yeah, 14. So dumb.
Scrap the P30.
Yeah.
You want to scrap the P30? P30 is scrapped.
How many people in the chat do you think know that reference?
This one doesn't.
I'm going to go 0. I don't
You
think
don't?
Uh-uh.
not a single one.
Martin
don't
Lawrence?
say it out loud.
Well,
Why
now,
not?
Now they
Because I
do.
wanted to see if anybody knew.
No, they don't know. And they're 30 seconds behind anyway. Yeah.
Quick math.
Shane would know.
1,000 seconds is 16 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on the college football playoff?
I like how they have it. I hope they leave it alone for a little bit longer than 2 years, so that way we can see like kind of how it plays out.
He said something a second ago about up a little bit higher.
Clayton.
Yeah. Dad wants y'all's odds on Colorado getting an at-large bid.
So they're the Big 12, so they wouldn't get. So we're saying they're not getting the AQ.
Right.
Depends on how popular Dion makes himself.
And at-large,
I think they have to overachieve a little bit.
if they're getting an at-large bid, they're not getting an at-large bid.
No, that means
Zero.
they're like a top 12 team ish. Theoretically,
No,
I
the only
can't- I
chance they
don't-
got is to win a bad Big 12. If they can win a bad Big 12, they got a chance. They're not getting an automatic qualifier.
I think if they overachieve, I don't know. It'll be tough. I think they've done a lot of work in the portal. I think they did go address a lot of positions. I don't know if they addressed them with good players though.
they addressed them last year. I mean, they used the portal last year too. It's-
But I told y'all last year that they got Florida State's guys that Florida State wasn't in a huge hurry to keep. Oh, did I talk about the kid that DJ Lundy? I'll say his name. That had the opportunity that committed to Colorado out of
yeah,
the
you
portal.
did.
I did talk about last
Yeah.
week. Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I talked about a lot of good stuff last week, but
let's go big rebound.
that was That was one of them. I don't have a ton more on college football, Tyler, to answer your question. I don't, Mr. Steinrich. I don't know that they get it. I did hear you had some really, really good Mexican food tonight. So shout out, props to him. I seen it on Twitter, Clayton.
I'm so disappointed.
Let's see what pub say.
I got a call from a wrong number the other day. I don't know what that means exactly, but
What?
Speaking of at-large bids, you know who could get an at-large bid?
Who's that?
Brian Sports.
They should. They deserve it.
They
probably
should,
an automatic
should deserve
qualifier.
it.
Yeah,
Like
they're
an
AQ.
automatic, if there was like a sponsorship, best sporting goods store playoffs, I think Brian, top 1 seed just about every year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who else.
Not Purdue either. He's not getting upset by 16 seeds.
No. He's not the Gonzaga of old.
No,
he's not.
He's
not
like-
Virginia.
No, he's
We won't bring that up again.
You did,
Tyler's
though.
trying to bring back the worst memory of my
Oh my
life.
God, I doubled down
For
like
every one of
100
us at this
times.
table.
We were
Yeah.
all here, Joey. We all did the same thing.
Over.
And
Oh my
over.
God.
And over. Yeah, so Brian Sports is not Virginia. You know what Brian Sports is? They're like Duke whenever they were like the true blue blood.
Yeah.
They're like, what was it? The Florida years? 06, 07?
06, 07.
Yeah, he would prefer that.
I think he would prefer that one.
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
you think?
Okay, yeah, fine.
Elite of the elite.
The best of the best, over and over.
But that makes it seem like he's a flash in the pan.
We're getting too deep in this.
I mean,
It's a great sports sword, though. I tell you that.
yeah.
Let's get back
The
to
best of all time. That
Get
is
to
true.
back to the nuts and bolts here. They can take care of you in any way that you need, whatever you need, whatever equipment. It doesn't matter. Brian Sports and the family business are first class, man.
I absolutely agree with that. Nothing but positive from Brian and Brian Sports. And
Brian was sold out of the FBS shirts. Devastating. We're working on it, Kobe.
Yeah,
hook you up.
he's accounted for. Yours is accounted for. Don't worry about it.
We got you.
We'll take care
We
of
got
it.
you.
I
That's actually my fault. I was supposed to go get that for you.
you were
That is. That's all me.
Maxwell. I got Maxwell. Maxwell hooked me up tremendously. Cooley probably helped with that a lot, actually. So I got you. We'll make sure. We together will make sure that you boys are taken care of. Right? Wouldn't you
Yeah,
agree with
yeah, I
that? There we
absolutely
go.
agree. Anyways, any sporting goods needs you have, go see Brian Sports. Anything that you need, I'm telling you, he can take care of it for you these days. As good as it gets, period. It doesn't matter. He's going to make it happen. And if he can't, he'll make sure that he knows somebody that can.
Yep. So go ahead and give him a call.
At
386-755-0570.
And you were looking. Never mind. You might have been looking.
I
at the
wasn't.
screen.
I was looking at you.
You were looking at me for the most part. I do agree with that.
755-0570. Give Brian a call. Go see him. Tell him we sent you.
really good people, for real.
All right. As we transition away from the Gators losing to Alabama, away from college football playoff, bummer, big loss there. I want to talk a little bit about
Hold that thought. Sorry. Go. There's a couple of comments. That we need to get
I
to.
thought you were doing an exceptional
I know.
job of steering us.
You are.
To
You
the
are.
next
The soup, like honestly, it was as good as it gets, and then I screwed this up. This is
Joey.
my fault.
my
I want to know
God.
what Sherm was talking about with lies. I don't know what that means. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know this where we were at. Ringo said, "I need you boys to put out there, come out and support softball tomorrow night. Home opener against the semifinal team last year, and wear purple." I'm with that. I agree. We'll be in Jacksonville playing Bartram Trail, so I will not be there. But if you can make it out to CHS softball, go do that.
Yes.
They're going to be pretty solid this year. Young team and still going to be pretty solid. What did Joey have to eat tonight? I look forward to that information. Actually, concession stand food, but I'm going to be honest with you. Columbia High Baseball has the best concession stand on planet
Dude,
Earth.
They really do.
It's really good.
I
It's
cannot tell
fire.
you a lie. Like tonight, I had pulled pork French fries with cheese on them.
What?
Who does that?
That's
like
not at a
baseball
high
game?
school concession
No.
stand. It's not
No.
normal.
No.
And
Kelsey.
it was
So
good.
we went to watch support you guys last
Yes, sir.
night.
Yeah.
Myself, Coach Allen, Coach Harold, we were all there. All
Never mind.
you didn't know that?
No, I
Oh,
did
don't
not.
be
I
a
had no
smart
idea.
ass or no smart butt. Don't be a smart butt.
I was going to be a smart
Don't
butt,
do
and
that,
I
don't do
refrained. I did refrain, so
Don't
I'm
do
pretty
that.
proud of myself for that.
We
Thank you
came-
guys for the support. I appreciate
Of course,
that.
we made it to about third inning. The kids melded in right then. I said, "We got to go right now. It's
Yeah.
getting out of hand." But anyways, in the meantime, Mia ate French fries.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey had a burger. as happy as they could possibly be. Dad didn't do anything. I picked up a bottle off the ground over and over and over because my son likes to throw things and hear loud noises. That's what he wants to do. So that's what I got to do all day. I had Old Bay sunflower seeds. Not bad.
Yeah, they're solid.
They need more seasoning.
Yeah, I agree.
Being honest. Anyways, but baseball went very well. You guys beat the defending state champions.
Yep, in Class 4A.
In the Class 4A in bottom of the 7th inning. Had one of my football guys and your baseball guy close it out.
Yep.
But anyways,
Had a big double earlier in the game.
yeah, I watched this. I only got to see his first 2 at bats, and
Yeah.
okay, it didn't go that well. But that's why it's in the game of averages.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big win for the Tigers last night.
Shout out to you guys though. It was good.
Speaking of big wins, let's talk about a few teams that need to have a big win this offseason.
Yeah.
I've started to see some of the
So good.
Professional.
So good. Keep going.
some of the draft positions, mock drafts start coming out. A lot of talk with Justin Fields being like the big
Piece
what are the
that's
Bears
moving,
gonna do?
right?
What's that?
Is the biggest piece that's going to
Yeah,
be moving.
nobody knows. Nobody knows for sure if the Bears are going to flip that, trade it down. I've seen the Patriots might be trading down. That's pretty typical for what they do. But
Yeah.
so we thought it'd be interesting to look at 5 teams that need to have a good offseason. 5 teams that need to have a good offseason to get back into winning form, make a deeper run in the playoffs, try to get over the next hump. So I've got my 5. Joey's got his 5. I'm not sure if Chris has 5.
I have 5.
You have 5?
I do.
All right. Who wants to go first? You want to go first, Joseph?
Yes.
Yeah. You want
Just
to
go
go
one at a time.
One at a time?
I think ours. A lot of them will be similar.
Let's go 5. Let's go 5 and then all the way up to 1. Is that good?
Yeah, I'm not. Mine is not going to be in any type of order.
Okay,
I'm just going
so
to give
it's
you
just
5
gonna go?
teams.
Okay.
Yeah. No priority here.
I'm gonna go with the LA Chargers. I think
Really?
I do.
Number 5?
Yeah, they've been at that little that cusp of like getting over that hump with a great quarterback in Justin Herbert, and they got the pieces around him. Now they have the head coach around him. Like I need them to take that next step as a franchise to get another elite playmaker at receiver, or another elite linebacker to go along with the D line and the safeties that can play. You know what I mean? Like I need to see them do something different than what they've been doing.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
Are we going to say we're not saying they need an offseason to elevate them to a championship level, but just to elevate them a level?
Yeah,
Is that fair?
just just teams that need to be.
I think I'm gonna go
Elevated.
local here. The Jaguars.
Agreed.
I think they've got
love
great
that.
choice.
I think they've got to.
I love that.
They've
I
got
got to
to.
put Jaguars on mine.
They've got to bolster their roster a little bit. Like they have to have a good offseason. They got
They
to
got
stay
to
healthy.
re-sign the right pieces and
Correct.
not re-sign every piece.
The front office has to do a good job.
Oh, that's a good call. Man.
Yeah, and I this may be controversial, but I think they've got to figure out what they have in Trevor Lawrence.
I think so too.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
a weird
despise. I don't hate
position
that
for
either.
Because he hasn't been great. He's been good at.
He's
He's been
had
great
flashes.
at times. Yeah.
And you know what? To be honest with you, if they don't have that miracle 30-point comeback over the Chargers from 2 years ago, I don't think that we're talking about Trevor Lawrence. I remember going into this season being super high on him and sorely disappointed.
Yeah.
The entire season,
Right.
the entire Jaguars. So
I agree with that.
That's a great pick, Chris.
Thank you.
That's a great pick.
Every now and then.
Mine isn't really that they need to have like a great offseason because they just won the Super Bowl. But to me, if you want to continue at this pace, I don't think they can do the same old. They've got to have a good offseason. They got to put some pieces around Mahomes. Kelsey's getting old.
I think
He's not
you're
gonna be able to-
spot on that.
Kelsey's getting a little bit older. I mean, they've got to get better pieces than just getting lucky. And this is
I know what you mean. Yeah.
lucky with Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round,
Right.
And having him. Like,
Correct. I agree.
so they need to get a wide receiver, and this is the draft class to do it.
Do you have? I was gonna say, do you have anything that you would like them to see them, or not necessarily you would like to see them do, but
Yeah,
if you
they've
were a
gotta
Chiefs
add
fan,
receiver.
yeah,
If they don't take a receiver, they may go back to back receivers. I mean, they are. So,
I think flipping Chris Jones for pieces and picks
yeah,
is
be
the
good.
way to go. I know it
That's a
sucks.
big
It
piece on their
sucks.
D-line, but
It
he's gonna
sucks,
be-
but I think you have to do something.
yeah,
You have to make a splash.
He single-handedly, in my opinion, took like 1 to 2 touchdowns off the board by his effort
Yeah,
in that
probably.
Super Bowl.
Probably did.
It's really hard for me to do that. Like I personally can't go there. I understand what you're saying.
No, I know.
I can't take.
But
like,
for the amount of money that he's going to command in this offseason,
is true.
like
That's-
you can franchise him one more time.
yeah,
But yeah, it'll be a lot of money
Yeah.
to contribute to that.
it will be, and yeah,
couple
but
But he's also worth a lot of money too.
yeah,
He
because
is.
he literally changed the game twice, at least.
Jake Kennedy said, just hopping in to say Dabo is the most overpaid contract in sports as of this moment. You haven't seen the Xander Bogaerts contract.
I don't care. Go sign.
He also says T. Higgins to KC. He's getting franchise tagged by Cincinnati, I'm pretty sure.
I've seen T. Higgins to KC as well.
I've seen that as well, but I have also seen him getting franchise tagged.
I think he will, but then I think they trade him.
Who's your fourth?
My
Oh,
four.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
smart.
My 4 is the Atlanta Falcons. Too many pieces on offense not to be dominant on offense.
This is your fourth?
Yeah.
Like in order? Oh, that's interesting.
Actually, I probably would switch 3 and 4 here. 1 and 2 is locked in, but yeah, the Atlanta Falcons. Because I don't. I just there's like I said, they're so talented at key positions. It's time for them to take that next step. Whether that be getting a quarterback, whether that be trading for Justin Fields. Yes, trade for Justin Fields, please. Whether that be trading for Justin Fields, whatever they do, I don't care. They have to do something to make a splash to elevate them to that next level to where they should be. Honestly.
My next one is maybe a little bit controversial. Is the Dolphins? They're trying to move
God, Chris, are you an NFL expert?
tonight.
This guy's
Dude, the Dolphins
Feeling
is a
himself
great
tonight.
pick.
The Dolphins is a good one. They're trying to move Waddle, and like where Tyreek Hill got on is like this guy's better than me, right? Where I was at his age, he's better than me right now.
Yeah.
So I think they have to, and I understand he's going to want money, and they have to do some things, but like defensively, they're going to get healthier next year just by time. Like, they the injury bug bit them in the worst way, and they still had opportunities in the playoffs. They have to have a good offseason. And I don't know exactly what that means, but their GM is going to have to make, the front office is going to have to make the right decisions. Or I can see them like slipping back into not oblivion, but like mediocrity, like middle of the road type stuff. Not a playoff team anymore.
yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
For my next one, I want to set it up with an analogy. Specifically with like baseball, you see teams that get really close, and then the next year they realize how close they were, and they go out and they spend huge and make a big splash to go way over the top. The Yankees did that this year, actually.
Every year.
They do that every year. But for that reason, I think the Detroit Lions need to do something similar. They got so close.
You think they need to go spend lots of money,
I think they
or just do something?
They need to do something big, make a big splash. They're so good on the offensive side of the
Yeah,
ball that I
exactly.
don't think they need to do that. Like the offense can pretty much stay the same, and I think they'll be
Oh
dominant.
God, yeah, yeah.
So I think it needs to happen somewhere on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe it's trading for a Chris Jones, getting some stock capital.
That would make sense.
I think that could be.
But you're going to have to give some pieces away. But
But they've got the pieces to do that.
they do.
I was going to say that I don't think they have to give up like major pieces in that scenario. Major pieces in the
you'd have to-
draft,
you'd have
like
to give
draft
Then
capital.
the draft capital.
Future
probably.
capital. But
Right.
you've drafted so well the last 2-3 years.
They've
Right.
done. They've done a
You've
good
got the
job
ability to do that.
recently.
So
I agree.
I think the Lions could do something like that to kind of piggyback
Really
off
good.
your.
That's a really good pick. I like that. Stay tuned, sitters. We
See,
have
folks, we do agree sometimes.
Yeah, we agree most of the time, actually. Anyway, stay tuned, sitters. We have C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
couple
for
of
real.
interviews from him
I got
this
a
week.
strong opinion on that.
Yeah, we're going to talk C.J. Stroud, and then we're going to talk a little bit of college baseball as well. I saw some questions up there in the top of the comments from that. So stay tuned. I promise we're getting to that stuff.
I'm only giving one more for the record, so I'm going to cut my portion of this segment short. I'm only going 3. 5's a lot for me. I've hit on 2 of 2, so I don't want to mess it. I don't want to mess it up. No, I think it's Joey's.
Yeah, it's me. I think the Bears. The Bears are in a pivotal point right now. Where they are.
I agree.
I think they're going to make the wrong decision. Just so we're clear, I think they're going to go with Caleb Williams.
I think they will.
Big mistake if they do that.
And I think it's a mistake.
is.
I do. I think it's come on now. Come on.
It's all right. It's cool. One. I think it's just one.
No, one's just a 1 thumbs down. 2
I
thumbs
think it
down.
gets confused because you guys are,
Split screen.
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, make your point. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No, it's okay. But I think it's a pivotal point in their I mean they've been a pretty porous franchise for years now, but
Yeah.
I really feel like with Justin Fields and another piece, they were really close, and I think that piece is Marvin Harrison Jr. And if they keep their little core together of him, DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr.,
Montgomery, Roshan Johnson.
Rowe, Khalil Herbert,
Yeah.
like you keep that core on offense, like that's a pretty good offense. Justin Fields has done nothing but get better and better and
I
better every
agree.
year.
I
But
agree.
it's been incremental. Like, it
It
hasn't
has
been leaps.
No, it hasn't. It's been
That's
it's
that's the
been
problem.
it's been a steady, better and better, but it hasn't been like leaps and bounds, which not many do, especially guys that haven't played a whole bunch of football over the last 7 to 8 years. He didn't play at all at Georgia. He sat a year at Ohio State, and then he played a couple of years there. But like he's just now realizing, or not realizing, but starting to reach
Figure out what to do.
a part of his potential. Yeah. So yeah, Bears pivotal right now, big time for them.
I'm gonna keep it in the state. I'm going Bucks.
Going three straight Florida teams.
I'm going Bucks. Here's why. They have to decide what they want to do with Baker, and then Chris Godwin, and like what's
Mike
his
Evans.
health situation. Mike Evans. It's
Send
like
him to the Chiefs.
what's the offensive line still needs like some work. What are they going to do with Devin White? He didn't get a start into the year. There's a lot of money there. Like I think they have a lot of moves that they need to make to stay relevant. And they've been made the playoffs the past 2 years, kind of by default, whatever, by their division, but nonetheless, they were in the playoffs. So, and same thing with the head coach. Like, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Bauer. Why do I want to say Bowers? I'm thinking of Grant Bowers. Okay.
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles. I knew it started with a B. Bowles.
I could see him in my head, but
me
I
too.
couldn't think of his
Me
name for
too.
nothing in that moment.
I can see him very clearly. Todd Bowles. But do you do like the controversial thing and like move on from him because the ceiling is like right here, like it's right.
Well, I don't
here.
think you can now. I think if you
No,
were moving,
absolutely
I think
not.
if you were moving on from him, you were moving on from him and hiring your OC as their head coach at that
And
point.
now he's gone. Yeah.
And now he's gone.
So again, to the Bucks, like now that's another hole to fill. I mean, you better do a good job of it too because that guy was pretty freaking good.
Yeah,
I feel like they're dangerously close to falling into like NFL limbo.
I agree with that. If it was like soccer, it would be
I
like
think they're already
relegation.
there.
Huh?
I think they're already there.
They're not there because they made the playoffs. Like I don't.
Yeah,
think you can,
and they were like
Yeah,
competitive too
and they,
last
they
year.
started. They started getting better.
Yeah, I guess they just like you didn't look at that team and say, "Oh, they got a chance to win the Super Bowl."
Well,
At
when
no point did you say they had.
No,
a
That's
chance
not
to
what
win.
I'm saying.
When
But
I
I'm
say
saying
limbo, they're like they don't really have a franchise quarterback. Their best wide receiver is on contract issues. Their head coach isn't like a Super Bowl winning caliber coach.
and they know
They're
it.
just like, ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah, the guy they thought was going to be the guy, and Devin White at linebacker has been passed and beat.
right.
Do I think they take the next step to be a championship team? No. But I'm saying if they don't have a good offseason, then they like can slip into like if it was
Mediocrity,
soccer,
like,
like
yeah.
relegation, like you're
Right.
going down in division, like type
Quickly.
of thing. Yeah.
I'm with you. I think that they're 0 for 1 with keeping Todd Bowles. I think
Yep.
that was mistake number 1. I think you have to keep Baker now. You don't have a choice in that. Like you have to sign him to a 1-year deal,
100%.
$45 million.
It's gonna be insane.
It's going to be
Good for
insane.
Baker.
Yeah,
Good for
great for Baker. I'm happy for Baker. Give me more
They
of
almost
that.
have to now.
They do. They have to do that
There's
to
nothing
keep
else.
because he's good enough to where he can win you games.
Yeah.
I don't think the floor goes much lower than 500 with Baker at quarterback and the current roster.
Current roster, yes.
Current roster.
Now,
If they
they
can't
get rid of Mike Evans, they get rid of Chris Godwin.
Oh, well, then yeah, of course.
now
That's-
things are
Now they're answering the question of they haven't had a good offseason, and this is my worry.
they're stuck in like middle lane right now. Like they're not old, but they're not young.
They're in a tough
like, and they're
spot.
not getting younger, and
No.
that's a problem a little bit.
I agree.
If you were the GM right now, what would you do if you were the Bucks?
Get somebody to overpay for Mike Evans.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
You
I would
have
go.
to.
I would go in straight sell mode right now.
I almost think you'd have to try and get like.
But
They're gonna try to sell next year, and it's gonna be too late.
I agree with that, and that's the problem. Is
You gotta
it's
sell
going to be
now.
too late next year, and that's
gotta
why
sell
they should have sold. They should have fired Todd Bowles, went young, and then started the fire sale, build from the ground up,
yeah.
like the
It's a
Texans did.
great draft to build. Like if you're gonna lose wide receivers, this is a great draft to restock on wide
There's
receivers.
seriously like 15 to 20 wide receivers that can play.
Like, they're
now,
good.
you know, like
They're good,
coming
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I would fire sell that team right now if I were them, and I don't think they're going to.
They can't now because they kept Bowles.
Well, they can't because they made the playoffs. How do you go into a fire sale if
Yeah.
you made the playoffs?
No, it's back-to-back years.
Fans would
They're
be
not- they're-
irate.
Yeah, they're not going to do it. Even if it's the right thing.
Yeah, my number 3 is the Falcons. We talked about them a little bit. I think they'd be a great fit if the Bears decide to get rid of
Justin Fields.
I think that's the
Yeah.
primo spot for them to go. So yeah, I think the Falcons. I think they could be sneaky good.
I think they could be very good. Forget sneaky good.
I think it would. Be
I think they
sneaky,
could be.
a little bit sneaky.
They could be.
Well, I have to get a
very,
couple
very
pieces on defense, right?
good. They really
I didn't watch a
weren't-
ton of Falcons. I'm asking.
They weren't terrible on defense last year.
They're going to score so many points if they get a decent quarterback and a defensive offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They get- if
I
they get
agree.
Fields and
They got weapons.
Well, I assume Raheem Morris is going to be the DC.
Yeah,
I don't know
He's
for
solid.
sure. I don't like Raheem Morris as a head coach. I didn't think that was a great hire, to be totally honest. I liked his hire as
A
an
lot of
OC.
people love that.
Yeah.
that hire.
Yeah, he's just never been a winner. I mean, he's had his chance as a head coach, and it was very unsuccessful.
Correct.
But I mean, you live and learn, and maybe he has learned, and he's picked up things from Sean McVay and a couple other people around the league, and
Yeah.
you never know. So I mean, it has been like 7 or 8 years since he was a head coach, so
Yeah, it's
you
been
can
a
you can definitely grow. So yeah, I mean, I like the Falcons there too. What's your next one, Tyler?
My next one, I stole this one from you because I was like, oh, yeah, they have to do that. The Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills. The Bills are my number one of the Bears. We've already talked about them. The Bills, Joey, we can kind of tag team this because you and I both, the second you picked them, I was like, oh, yeah, it's got to be the Bills.
They're my number one. The Cowboys are I'm going to go to number 2 real quick. The
If
Cowboys are my number 2
Yep.
just because it's the Cowboys and they have to do something. But
They're gonna do
they
something. They're-
literally cannot win until Jerry Jones dies. I've said that on this podcast before.
Dude, when they,
It's true.
Did you see that who was, Jimmy Johnston
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson.
coming on as an advisor? When the entire league is going young and getting fresh ideas, they're hiring Jimmy Johnson as a consultant.
I did not see that, but
that is
that's
certainly a choice.
just because of the beef in history and all that, and now they're trying to smooth it over and make everybody feel like
That doesn't get you to the Super Bowl.
it does not. You're
Like,
right.
It just doesn't do it.
Yep. So let's go to the Bills.
So the Bills. If I'm gonna pick the Lions because they need to make a splash to get over the hump, you have to pick the Bills.
The Bills have been Super Bowl contenders for 3 to 4 years now, since Josh
They
Allen's been in the
cannot
league.
beat the Chiefs,
You're right.
and
But they've done literally
Really
nothing to help Josh Allen
Nothing.
take
I
that
agree.
next step.
I
Nothing.
agree.
and again,
They've done
we've hit it over
nothing.
and over again. But they need to get a wide receiver in this draft. They need to add someone not named Gabe Davis.
If Stephon Diggs, if you feel like he's lost a step, and maybe he doesn't get along with Josh Allen, whatever the situation is, if that's the case, get rid of him. Go trade for a Jalen Waddle. If he's on the market, I'm going to
Yeah.
give everything I got. Whatever you want, I'll take Jalen Waddle, and then I'm drafting one of the 15 to 20 wide receivers, probably 2 of the 15 to 20 wide receivers in this class. And we're gonna figure out a way to make Josh Allen good because you got Dalton Kincaid, you got James Cook. You got to get him the ball because they like to give Latavius Murray the ball for no reason last year.
Every team does. He has blackmail on every single team he's ever played for.
Has to, right?
It's the
Because
only
he's
way.
so bad at football.
They just love his body style. They want him to be Derrick Henry, and he can't.
He's so weak. He doesn't run hard.
No, he doesn't.
He's
But
he's
huge.
miserable to watch.
He's ginormous.
He is ginormous. But so you got
Do you know how
a
tall
couple
Latavius Murray is?
6'3".
6'3".
6'3".
Yeah.
Dude, why isn't he good? It's the craziest thing.
You know why?
Should be.
Because he's a sissy.
Yeah, UCF. They don't breed them right there.
Mm.
Anyways. Yeah, the Bills have to do something. They have to do something different to help Josh Allen get to that next level. If they don't help him, he can't get there by himself. Like, he just can't. He needs help. And they don't have any help right now. And he doesn't help himself always either, but he needs help to be able to do it.
I would also add the Bengals. I think they're sneaky close to being close to irrelevant again.
They just got to stay healthy.
Well, they've got to stay healthy, but they're going to have some big contracts, man. They've got Joe Burrow's contract. Jamar Chase is there for what, another year?
Yeah.
Another year. Tyler Boyd's going to be a free agent. T. Higgins is thinking about moving. They're thinking about moving him. So, like, you move those
Let
pieces.
Tyler Boyd go. I'm fine with that. I think
Yeah,
he's a
he's-
great
he's
slot
cool.
receiver, but
Yeah.
he's not young anymore.
Yeah.
But T. Higgins can absolutely play football.
T. Higgins is a 1 on 50% of the league.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if they want to win this year, they can't trade T to KC. I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
They just complement each other so well. To have T on one side, Jamar on the other, it just
Yeah.
works so well for them.
it does.
But on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive line, like they're just miserable on the offensive line.
I was going to say O-line help. They
so
have
miserable.
they have to do like draft 2, sign 3 in free
They're
agency.
in such a good spot this year because a lot of teams are going to be taking wide receivers. Just take 2 offensive linemen.
Yeah,
You have to.
I agree.
All right. You know what Joe Burrow has? He's got a
What?
great haircut.
He does have a great
It
haircut.
almost is as if he goes to Josh McCardle to get his haircut.
I think Joe Burrow would be even have even better hair if he went to Josh.
It would be a
McCardle.
step up. Like if we're talking about
Definitely.
teams that made to make a big splash, maybe it's Joe Burrow going to Josh McCardle. Maybe that's the splash they need.
Maybe that is the splash they need. I could see it in your head, like how you were going to transition to
It was
that.
difficult. It took
And
me a second.
And that was
well,
beautiful.
though.
That was
You
beautiful.
did very well.
Because it's true. If Joe Burrow went to Josh McCardle for his hair, then they would probably be Super Bowl champs.
He probably wouldn't be getting hurt. I know that.
No, that's the truth. He definitely wouldn't be getting hurt.
Wrist injury is out the door when you get a good haircut.
What's the number, Joey?
Yeah, the number Josh McCardle is 386-247. Nope, 243. Nope, 247-1430. 386-247-1430 is the number to Josh's barbershop.
I'm just like imagining the sitters like writing the number down, then scratching it out, then putting another one, then scratching it out.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I think they probably quit writing the first.
386
247.
247
1430.
1430. That
I
is the
just
number.
realized his last four, 1430.
How about that?
How about that? All right. Staying in
Hey,
line with
one of the
NFL.
sitters is going Monday to get a haircut there.
Which one?
Sherman Wells.
Sherman's going?
Big Sherm. Me and Big,
Big
Sherm
Sherm.
going at the same time.
Big Sherm.
All right, Josh.
Big
Don't
Sherm.
let us down. Don't let us down.
All right.
Raheem's 21-38 as an NFL head coach.
Ugh.
Yeah, I
Who
knew
was
it
he
was
head
rough.
coach with?
Am I crazy for saying the Broncos?
No, it was the Bucks for sure, I think.
Oh.
And then I can't remember. Maybe
It wasn't good. All right.
I remember the other
Anyways, let's talk about CJ Stroud. Man, me and Joey love CJ Stroud, but boy, did he make himself look like an idiot this week.
Yeah, so I was big on we lost a lot of our viewers. I'm like sad.
ones.
We,
Literally just like threw a sucker in the dirt. He, like,
no, I
Like
was watching
physically,
it.
you could see it happening.
No, I was watching it happen, and I was like, oh no. But anyway, CJ Stroud, for those of you who are still here, we like CJ Stroud. You guys told me he was really good, and I was like, all right, yeah, I gotta see more. Saw more. He's really talented.
he's good.
He's very good at football.
He was the interim head coach for the Atlanta in 2020. Raheem Morris was.
What was I saying?
CJ Stroud, very
Stroud,
good.
sorry.
Oh.
Very talented at playing football.
At football, he's not very talented at going on like podcasts.
No, apparently
No,
not.
what a moron.
He's bad. So it's the off season, right? So he is doing his podcast tour type of thing, and it's all over social media because that's what happens.
That
Like
is
you
the way the
clip
world
it, you
works,
clip
yeah.
it, you put it on social media. And the one that I saw like really like bothered me, and I'm not even a Gator guy, but he's on there with Fred Taylor and Channing Crowder, and there's another one,
Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark. But like, and he was being very dismissive of just anything that wasn't CJ Stroud.
Right.
And they were trying to like it almost and you correct me if I'm wrong. We have a podcast, so and we've had guests on here. No one has ever been that disrespectful.
Absolutely not.
Ever. And we're not anywhere near the caliber of like career wise that those guys have had.
No,
Fred Taylor.
yeah. Fred Taylor's
and,
one
like,
of the all-time greats. I mean, he should be a Hall of Famer if we're being honest. but-
Absolutely. I love Fred Taylor. Primarily for his time in Jacksonville, but I know I can acknowledge what he did in Gainesville.
Right.
So he comes on their podcast and he's just kind of like didn't even know who Fred Taylor was. Didn't know where he went to college. Like, and I don't know if he was trying to be funny, but it wasn't funny. Because it wasn't funny because it didn't happen once. It was
Right.
like 4 and 5 times. And like you could see, in my opinion, you correct me if I'm wrong, I could see Fred Taylor like getting aggravated. He hit it very well. But you could tell like he was like, well, you're coming on like my podcast that I'm a partner of, and you're being extremely disrespectful to me in the sense of you're discounting everything that I've done because you don't know who I am
Right.
as you're coming onto my podcast.
Yeah.
And you don't know where I've been. And then when I tell you where I've been as a Gator, you're like, then it was even worse.
Right,
Then he like doubled down. I was like, bro, we're talking about Florida? Like,
Yeah, I thought you played at Bama.
I thought you played at Bama the way you're talking.
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
I was like,
Meanwhile, by the way, they were talking about. So before that, they were talking about championships, winning
Yes.
national championships.
right.
Brother.
Fred Taylor has one.
Yep.
Channing Crowder has one.
Yep. How many does CJ have?
0.
Correct.
So like, and
At least-
it's not
but at
because
least
it's.
he beat his rival Michigan, right?
Oh no, he didn't.
It never has.
So that's my thing is and this isn't as a Gator homer or a Gator fan. Like
I'm
doesn't
not
matter-
either.
It doesn't matter
Obviously.
who it was. You don't go on to some, especially somebody that has won a championship.
Yeah.
Is in the College Football Hall of Fame. Should be in the NFL Hall of Fame. Like,
Yeah.
hold on, playa. Like who are you to come on to my podcast and talk to me that way whenever I am that guy and you are right now probably going to be that guy if we're being honest. But That ain't the point.
You're not there right now,
You ain't earned it yet.
and you're sitting in my studio, bro.
Yeah.
If I see, here's where we differ, because if I was Fred Taylor, I would have embarrassed his ass right then. I mean, I'm talking about I would have went in on him. I would have said Michigan. You can't beat Michigan. All the time you lost to Michigan at home. No, man, don't do that. I didn't like that. So then compound it with he's on a podcast tour, so I guess he's like on his next stop, and he's meeting with Cam Newton,
Right.
and he's being like super dismissive of like Auburn and Cam's time at Auburn.
What did he do at Auburn, Chris?
He was arguably the best player to ever play at Auburn. Like,
One of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time.
Bo was probably the
said
best.
arguably.
Yeah, Bo was probably the best. But
I'll listen to Bo.
Single season?
He's in the conversation.
I'm not sure that it's arguable at that point.
He's a Heisman Trophy winner, right?
Heisman Trophy winner,
National champion.
national champion.
Two things
To
that
a
CJ.
not that great team.
Yeah, they were terrible.
He carried them
Yeah.
on his back.
Yeah.
Literally.
Two things that what? Did CJ win the Heisman?
No.
Oh, he never won the Heisman. He never won the national championship. It's like two things you never were, sir. And you're coming out again, coming onto this man's platform and this
Right.
man's podcast and being nasty and dismissive of like his alma mater. It's okay to say, like, first of all, you played in the Northeast, but you didn't play down here.
Right.
You didn't play because he's like real heavy on like Alabama and Nick Saban, but you didn't play for him.
No.
So like, why are you being nasty and disrespectful to Cam Newton on his platform? Again, if I was Cam, and I think Cam gave it back to him more than Fred did.
Right.
Fred was more professional.
I didn't see this, so I
Yeah,
can't speak
Cam
on it,
Newton
but
gave it to him a little bit more. Like he went back and forth a little bit.
I'm
But
interested to see this when we get off the air, though.
it was. I mean, I wish you would have been heavier on him, because like if it had been me yet again, I would have been like, bro, sit down. Like,
Yeah.
who are you? Because and I'm gonna say this, and I'll turn it over to you. I think C.J. Stroud is a very likable person.
Agreed.
At least until he starts to open his mouth and start talking recklessly to people that I have an immense amount of respect for in Fred Taylor and Ryan Clark and Shannon Crowder and Cam Newton. His career, maybe not Cam Newton the person, but his career, his podcast, his platform, what he's doing in the same realm that we're in.
Yeah.
Like, we know this isn't the easiest thing ever.
Right.
You know, and you're going to go on to you're going to their house. That would be similar to like going to someone's house and being disrespectful to them in their home.
Right.
And acting as if you didn't even know who they are while you're sitting in their living room. That would be crazy. That'd be just crazy. Zach Palk's in the chat. Appreciate you, Zach, for joining us. That would be like Zach inviting us over to his house for like cigars. And he hands us a cigar that's a very, very good one. And we're like, what's that?
Yeah, this isn't
like,
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
This,
All right,
And-
ZP. Appreciate it. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Never in a million. That's not the case. But never in a million.
Yeah,
never in a
sure,
million
but-
years would I fathom like being openly disrespectful to someone.
in their house about what they're doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
even. I wouldn't even do it in like a neutral site.
No,
Like-
yeah, it doesn't matter.
And then it's just crazy to me. I don't know if it's like a generational thing. I don't know if it's an intelligence thing. I don't know what it is, but I do not like it, honestly.
Well, so for me,
He doesn't want anything.
we talked just a few minutes ago about winning the offseason.
Yep.
Right? Different teams winning the offseason. Going on this little podcast tour, he could have won the offseason himself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, he just came off of the greatest rookie football season of all time.
Is that true? I can't go there, and I don't want you to stop your comment right now for that. Like,
I need you to look it up because I'm pretty sure
It
he may
can't
not
be.
be the most yards, but just
I was gonna
overall.
say, I know who has the most yards.
Andrew Luck?
Andrew Luck.
He went over 43 or 44 this year, I think.
I think he had a very, very good rookie year.
Regardless,
I'm cool with that. Like,
regardless, he took a team that had the number 2 overall pick for a reason.
Yeah.
And they're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
And
It's
so,
great.
like, you had
That
an
part.
opportunity
I agree.
to
Solid.
go on and be very humble and be very likable and all these things, and you chose the opposite route. And if you want to be the villain in sports, that's fine. Every sport needs a villain, and if CJ wants to be that guy,
Yeah.
then continue to do what you're doing because you're going to have people that don't like you.
But no, because it's that. Exactly. Bingo.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so maybe that's his goal. Maybe he's like, yeah, I don't want to be liked. I want people to think that I'm arrogant. I want people to think, and if that's the case, then you're doing a damn good job.
You're doing a
everybody.
fine job.
You're doing
Yeah,
a fine
absolutely.
job
Absolutely.
at showing people that
You
you're
do
a
your thing,
very
fella.
arrogant, whatever. Is he very, very good? Yes. Would I take him as the premier quarterback in the league? Probably so. But you can't. In my opinion,
I
anyways,
can't get there. Yeah.
I can't just go along with you dismissing the great
People that have won.
Cam Newton was fantastic as a football player.
Yes.
He's by all accounts a pretty freaking good human being. Sometimes was a whiner, but I mean he's a really good football player. Fred Taylor, great human being, great football player. Channing Crowder, all those things. Like Ryan Clark, all those things. Like you're going into their house disrespecting them like that. And then there was one more. Him and Micah Parsons were doing a podcast together, and they were talking about their hometowns and whatever. And CJ was talking about Micah Parsons said, we got talking about best running backs or whatever. And Parsons was like, we got Ricky Waters. He's like, who the heck is Ricky Waters? Like, no disrespect, Ricky Waters. I don't know who that is. I'm like, bro, even if you don't, like, I'm a little older than him, a lot older than him. Ricky Waters was like one of the better backs in the NFL for about 10 to 12 years there.
But even if you don't
know, you just say
be dismissive of it in the sense of
my
like,
guys, I like us in this scenario.
Yeah, I like mine.
That's all you got to say. You don't have to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Stroud was 3. Stroud the only one that led his team to the playoffs in that first year, though, I believe.
No, he had an absolute great rookie year. It's just like, I don't know if he's just not intelligent, because that's one thing that I think all those other guys have in common. I don't know about Michael Parsons as much, but like Ryan Clark, extremely intelligent.
Right.
Fred Taylor, intelligent enough, like savvy enough. Channing Crowder, same thing, like business sense, like smart enough to not look like an ass.
Right.
And then Cam Newton is extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
And then you mix in like CJ, he did. They just made him look very, very immature. No, he made himself look very, very immature on that platform. Where, like you said, Joey, he could have painted himself in a different light, and instead he painted himself in like a arrogant, look at me.
Yeah.
We all know that person. This is the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm done. Mm-hmm. We all know that person. That everything that they've ever done is the best, and anyone that they ever know was better.
Right.
And every food that they've ever had was better than anything that you've ever had.
The one-upper.
You know that person.
Dr. Topper, baby.
And they can't ever have an honest conversation and be transparent and be real with themselves and be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe you're right. They're not intelligent enough for that. They have to be like, nope, hard line in the sand. I don't care who played running back for where you came from. Nobody's better than me. And it was weird. He wasn't talking about Ohio State. He just kept talking about Alabama. Nick Saban, Alabama. I'm like, damn, he didn't recruit you? Like, what happened there, bud? Like you're dogging Fred Taylor. You're dogging like who? Like, I am very much so like in the camp of like respecting your elders, respecting those that have come before you, that have done it at a really, really high level. Even after you've already done it at a really high level, like it's also still okay to pay homage and respect to those who came before you.
Yep.
Even if you are on this ascending path, it's okay to be like, you know what, Cam, I'm gonna catch you one day. But I think you're an exceptional player, and I'm not gonna come on your podcast and be disrespectful to you. It rubbed me the wrong way. I'll be honest.
Yep. You said it earlier. Like he just seemed uneducated on who he was with.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going on a podcast, I'm gonna know who I'm going on a podcast with.
Period.
You know what I mean? Like if
when y'all did a podcast with Gerard Warren.
Yeah.
I knew.
You prepared?
You dang right.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not that anyone would know.
No. We knew.
That's
we knew. But that's not like that example is good, but it's not great. Like if I went on, I'm trying to think of someone else's podcast. I haven't.
The Nolecast.
If I went on them, I would know exactly, and I listen to their show a lot, but I would know about Bud Elliott, and I would know about Ingram Smith, and I would know about I'm their guest on their show, but I would know about them as co-hosts.
Because that's respectful.
100%. That bingo. That's it. It's a level of respect.
Yeah.
And being negligent is an excuse to be disrespectful.
Bingo. I like that. That's very good.
On a positive note, some really great podcast experiences with Jameis Winston.
Oh, man.
Dude, Jameis.
He's so funny.
Man.
He's hilarious.
He doesn't even try to be that funny, though.
I think he does sometimes. I think you're a little bit.
Dude, when he's talking about people that grew up around water.
Yeah, he was talking about Mike Evans and Galveston. He's
No,
like,
that was
water don't have no soul. They're
Don't have
just
no soul.
different.
that was true. Like he wasn't trying to be funny.
He
at all.
wasn't, and I was like,
but there was a couple of them where you could see that his smirk, like he knew what he was doing.
yeah.
He does know what he's
I
doing.
also think it's intelligent, but like in that moment, I don't think he
agree.
was trying to be funny.
I don't know about that one either. I think you're right. I think he might have been. He might have
He's
been
talking
on
about
that
people.
one.
He came up. That's dirty. What do you say? Dirty sand. It's the muck. Might be
the
oil.
muck.
Might be oil muck. It's still the muck. Those people don't have a soul.
Dude, I would give anything for him to be a starting quarterback just for the interviews.
I would give anything for him to come sit in that chair right there for an hour.
God,
Dude.
I would get the best stories out of that.
Oh, my gosh.
Fantastic.
Yep.
All right, Sitters, that's going to be it for tonight. This has been Tyler Roth along with Joey Edge and Chris Martinez. And we are Front Porch Sitting. Catch you next time, Sitters. You guys did it that time.
Yes.
We did.